Freilich and Chanukah.
Thank you.
So I have 4 questions today, but I think we'll start with 2 questions. And since it's Chanukah and people have a lot of Mesibas to go to, we'll see where the Olam is standing after we cover the first 2 Sheilos. One question was asked this week several times, and I discussed it a little bit on Tuesday night. I'm going to recap and add to it. The Gemara says to light Mishat the Shokah Chama, and the Shulchan Aruch says Lechatchila you should write the Shokah Chama. But you could light Ashetich Leregel Min Ashuk, and today the Pesum Nisa is mainly with the person's house, so as long as the Bnei Bayis are up, you could light the menorah. But Lechatchila you should light the menorah, the Shokah Chama. So the question is, if some family members are going to come late, should you wait for them or not wait for them? And if you're not going to wait for them, what should they do? Should they be yotze with your menorah, or should they light their own menorah, or what? So first thing is, the Chafetz Chaim had a Rabbi. A lot of the famous Gedolei Yisrael, we know them. We don't know that, but their Rabbis were big people too. The Chafetz Chaim had a Rebbe, his name was Reb Nochem Kaplan. And that was his Rabbi Muvuk. It was a Chanukah, he went to visit his Rebbe. So he was staying in his Rebbe's house, and it's the first night of Chanukah, and he's waiting. For sure his Rebbe, it's Sh'tiyas Achama. Sh'tiyas Achama comes and it goes, and his Rebbe's busy doing something he's doing. He can't believe it. He's not saying anything. They're waiting for a very long time, and he's busy. All of a sudden, the door opens. His wife comes in. He gets up, and he takes the menorah and this, and that's it. And he lights the menorah with excitement. Afterwards, he took the Chafetz Chaim aside, and he said, "I want you to understand something. I see you were upset that how come I didn't do the menorah immediately." The Gemara says that there's a conflict. The person doesn't have enough money, and there's a conflict in his mind. What should he buy? Should he buy candles for Chanukah, candles for Shabbos? So the din is that candles for Shabbos is odif. Why? Mishum Shalom Beisei. Shalom Beisei odif. Shalom Bayis is more important. Agav Urcha, there's a beautiful word from the Rebbe that this halacha is brought in the Rambam in Hilchas Chanukah. It should be brought in Hilchas Shabbos, which is refers to earlier B'chlal. And it's saying that Shabbos supersedes Chanukah, so it should be in Hilchas Shabbos. It's like the Rebbe know because it's a din in Hilchas Chanukah. Chanukah says that Shalom Bayis is more important. Chanukah says that Shalom Bayis is more important. It's a din in Hilchas Chanukah. Chanukah is that Shalom Bayis is order. So gesagt Reb Nochem, that's why I waited for my wife. This story used to be told by Reb Shalom Shvadron, the Magin Yerushalayim, and he said that he pointed out that Dvar Pella in the story that it wasn't that Reb Nochem said to his wife, "Please do me a favor in the future, come a little earlier." I mean, I was waiting here with the Chafetz Chaim himself.
Smarter than that.
Okay, smarter than that. You got it. You got it. Exactly. Some of us are not that smart. Didn't say anything. His wife came, he looked, he didn't give her any musa, didn't say anything about tomorrow, about next day, and presumably his wife knows how important the Chanukah candles are. It happened. Didn't harp on it.
Making latkes.
Huh?
She was busy making the latkes.
Maybe she was busy getting a manicure and a pedicure.
I don't think I had that back then.
No.
That's something else.
Technical problem. So for the wife, it's definitely kedai to wait. Okay, man, this is hands down. There's no shiloh, but now you have a ma'aser Rav, a beautiful story of Chafetz Chaim and his Rebbe. But the question is for your children. Should you wait for your children? So, but then a klal like this: the boys light their own menorah. Why should you wait for them? Let them light their own menorah when they come home. Why should you wait? If you can light it bizman, why should you wait? And then there's a whole shiloh. We spoke about this last week. Can you eat, not eat, a suda, tima? What are you allowed to do till you light the candles? Whatever. The boys can light themselves when they come home. Sheilos the girls. some girls would like to hear from their parents dafka, from their father dafka. So in Shulchan Aruch Simon Tov Reish Ayin Vav he says like this: Haroy ner Chanukah. It's a Gemara. The Gemara says a madlik ner Chanukah. The first night makes 3 brachas. Haroy ner Chanukah. First night makes 2 brachas. The person that looks at ner Chanukah can't make the bracha lahadlik ner Chanukah. He makes a bracha shos nisim and shechrionu, and the next night's only shos nisim. So when do you make? If I walk out in the street, when we drive with the kids anywhere in Chanukah, they have a game. How many menorahs they could catch in the windows? So yeah. Otherwise, they have this game about the ABC or getting how many cues they can find. But we do a lot of driving, so quite nice. So. Chanukah, you see 50 menorahs a night. Make 50 brachas? No, you don't make 50 brachas. The Rishonim say that's only if you didn't light or you're not planning to light. But the Shulchan Aruch adds one thing, which is a machlokas Rishonim. That also they're not lighting for him in his house. The Shulchan Aruch adds that also they're not lighting for him in his house. But if they're lighting for him in the house, so then he doesn't have to make a bracha even though he's rei ner Chanukah. However, there's a lot of Rishonim that argue on this. And Bach says a beautiful svara, beautiful lomdish svara. They say no.
You saw it after or before?
They say, the other Rishonim say, if you saw a ner Chanukah and you didn't light, then you will not light. Even though your husband is lighting for you, your father is lighting for you, your wife is lighting for you. In your house there's a ner Chanukah. But still, you have to make the bracha Shos Nisim Avesenu and Shechionu the first night, and the next night the Shos Nisim. Why? So the Bach has a beautiful svara about this. Beautiful svara. He says there's 2 parts in the menorah. One is Lahoydis Lahal L'Shem Chagadol to thank Eibishter for the nest. The second is to be mefarsim the nest to the whole world. So when you do the menorah al Pesach Beiso in your own house, you're doing both at the same time. You're thanking Hashem for the miracle, Lahoydis. And also, you're showing the world about the Eibishter's miracle. But if they're lighting for you in the house, and you're not there, your father's lighting for you, your mother's lighting for you, your brother, your sister, your husband, your wife, someone's lighting for you in the house. You're staying in someone's house, you give him a little bit of money to be mishtata with him. The bottom line is, it's done. So he said, the way the Bach says it's 2 parts, mitzvah shebegufoy and mitzvah shebemamoinoi. There's a mitzvah that is it's like giving maisa. It's a mitzvah that in your house there has to be a menorah to publish the miracle. If you have 10 houses, you have to have 10 menorahs. And if you have 5 houses and each one has 2 doors, you still have to light 10 menorahs if they're on 2 sides of the street. That's lafarsa manes.
If it's corner houses.
Right, if it's a corner house.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody who does it?
Today we don't do it because the Pirsum Nis is more for the family. But that's the din of the Gemara. So therefore, there's a mitzvah shebegufoi also, not only mitzvah shebemamoinah, that you have to thank Hashem for the miracle. And if they're lighting for you in the house, okay, mitzvah shebemamoinah. If you gave a quarter to the person you're staying in his house, if you're staying in Achsanya, or if your wife is lighting for you, no problem. If you're on the road, you're on the road, your wife is lighting for you, gesundheit, that's great. But you're not thanking Hashem for the miracle. So therefore, Roy and Chanukah, you have to. There's 2 parts of the mitzvah: mitzvah shebaguf and mitzvah mamoinah. The money thing is your house has to have a menorah, but you also have to thank Hashem. You personally have to thank Hashem.
If nobody's living in the house, you still have to go for the menorah there?
Well, if no one's living in the house, no. It has to be only a house that you're living in.
If somebody light for you, he has to make
When you
kavanah
own
for
the
you.
house and you sublease it,
No, then it's not. Then it's not.
So
That's
it's
not-
your house where you live.
Yeah, your
So
house
you
where
have
you
10
live.
houses,
Right.
you live in 10 houses.
Yeah, exactly. He has a milchik house, a fleishik house, and a pot of house. That's what we're talking about. Breakfast house, lunch house, and supper house.
Rabbi, if somebody lighting
not
for you, you're not home, he has to make kavanah for you? That's you biyotze?
Well, you should be.
I think so.
It depends. It depends. If it's a stranger, it's someone else. It's achsanoi. You have to give him the money, or he has to
Right,
say,
it
"I'm
is
giving
enough.
you." But if it's your child, it's
Bnei
not that way.
mishpacha.
The bnei mishpacha, they don't own a house. The house is neid ishu beisay. They were yoytze. There's no other chiyuv.
The Erev Yom Tov, a lot of times the Rav calls out, if you didn't make Erev Tavshilin, the Rav had your mind.
Doesn't help. Yesterday there was a lady that came downstairs. Rabbi, there's a lady here. She doesn't have candles. She doesn't have witch.
I know I gave her.
I know you gave her. Thank you very much. Could you please have her in mind? I said we can have in mind a lot of nice things, but she's not yoytze the mitzvah. She can come to my house and get candles or wicks. Anyway, parrots. At the end, she got
she
from
came
parrots.
down again?
Yeah, she did get. Yeah, parrots gave her.
Good.
But she thought she's going to ask the rabbi to have her in mind.
I'd say tea lights this morning.
It doesn't work. Back to the Shaila of the Shulchan Aruch Chasimot Avrei Shayim Vav. So again, let's summarize. The Gemara says, Aroy Ner Chanukah makes a bracha. Shulchan Aruch says it's only if you didn't like, you will not like, no one's lighting for you in your house. Many other Rishonim say, no, if you did not like, you will not light, then you have to make a bracha. Even though in your house, someone's lighting, but you have to thank the Eibush to Shos and Nisim Laviseinu. Lamaisa, the Mishnah Berurah Paskin says, Sofek brachas, so you can't make the bracha. However, Bavadai, if you come later home, there's mitzvah mahadrim and a mahadrim. And according to us, mahadrim and a mahadrim means that every person could light in the family could light the menorah. So it's not a bracha l'matola. So therefore, to summarize, if you're waiting for your wife, definitely you should wait for your wife. There's no question. If Reb Nochem can wait it, and the Bruder, the Chavetz Chaim waited for his wife, then you should also wait for your wife. Versteht like the Shalom Shvadron say, no make no comments and no commentaries. But if it's your daughter, so it's up to you. It's up to you. You could light Bizman, and tell her that when she will come home, let her take a menorah, let her light the candles, and why not? It will be very nice. It's a mitzvah ma'adim and a
What
ma'adim.
about Berov Am Hadrat Melech, which you have more people?
So then all the people in the family will come again when the daughter comes home, 11 or 12 at night, and they will sing with her Moaz Sur or Anedes Halolu, and it'll be very nice. Why not? Why not? It's beautiful. That's the bottom line. So to just to summarize, if you're waiting for if your spouse has to come home, don't do the menorah. Wait. But if it's a child, and your home bisman, I mean, obviously you have to judge something. You're not in bisman. They're waiting another 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. The kid is the bus is late from school. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the case when the kid is out, and the kid tells you they're going to come home. They're coming home 12 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. So you're not mechuyev to wait for her. You could light the menorah and then tell her when she comes home, she'll light the menorah. Okay. This is one shaila. This is a pretty common shaila, and this is the next shaila.
If you're home alone and nobody's home and you don't have a window where to light, are you
Well,
still
Chabad,
lighting?
if you don't have a window, Chabad anyway doesn't light by the window, by the way. You know, Chabad lights always by the door in the house.
Right, so
The
it's
door.
near the door, but if no one is there to answer Amen and nobody sees it,
Doesn't matter.
is it a bracha or
No, it's not a bracha l'matala. It's not a bracha
You
l'matala.
see it.
You see it.
Well, what about Parsum and Hanes?
Right, so
If you do it against the
Oh.
door,
So the way to be
so
mefas with the
you
nails,
have to light where you sleep or no?
you put it in the window as well as there.
they really have to do it in a place where you live, eat and sleep. Mainly today where you sleep. Mainly where you sleep. Shabbat says today mainly where you sleep. Shabbat says mainly where you eat.
So maybe I have to relight Thursday night.
Why? Where did you light?
Did I work?
Oh no, so then yeah, you should light. You have to light. Right, you have to light at home. The Mishabura says
Because
Bisman is
nobody
that
was
mainly
home that
where you
night,
sleep.
and I have no windows, so
No,
I'm not
no.
the fire as the
So
next.
it could be you were mafas in the nice. It wasn't a bracha l'matola at the work, but you definitely have to light in the house.
So what do I do
Definitely.
now?
So do it again. Do it next time. Do it if you want to light at work and make mafas in the nice. That's nice, but you have to light also at home and with a bracha.
So even if you lit with a bracha beforehand
Yes,
elsewhere,
definitely.
you still go and light it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I would say furthermore.
What if these conveyors do that work?
No, it doesn't help. Mishnah Berurah says it doesn't help. The only bizman a shas where the main pesumanissa was the pesach beis and machutz. Today it's for the beis. It has to be where you sleep. That's what the Mishnah Berurah passes.
With the hotel.
Well, if you go to a hotel, it's different. Because you kaveya, you place the sleep in the hotel. Then you do it in the hotel. If you kaveya in the hotel, you stay a Shabbos, a weekend, a few days in the hotel. That's different. That's what the Mishnah Berurah paskins, and that's what he says about the whole staying in a hotel in the Bir Halacha. Second question, talking about Pesum and Nissa. So the truth is today one way, very good way of doing Pesum and Nissa is by introducing the mitzvah to another Jew who doesn't know. So you could pick up a couple of menorahs and give it to a Jew who doesn't know how to do the mitzvah. Problem is, sometimes, so this is a Shaila, and this I asked the Shaila because I seen in the booklets that Chabad gives out that even if you didn't make the brachas yet, right? There are people that light the menorah, but they don't know the brachas. So you give them, they ask them, you light the menorah? No, we have a menorah. It's okay, I'll give you the pamphlet. What's the pamphlet? So you tell them the pamphlet's about the holiday, and also the pamphlet will teach you how to make the blessings. So there are people that they lit the menorah the first and second night. Maybe they didn't light it not the Shem and Zayas, and they lit a candle, but they didn't make the brachas. And now you're telling them that they should make the brachas. So the question is, the din is that the first night you make 3 brachas, and every subsequent night you make 2 brachas. First night you make shechionu, the other night you don't make shechionu. How about this person? Does he make shechionu? He already lit the candle the first night, the second night, the third night, the fourth night, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, right? You met him today on Sunday. And you said, you have a menorah? He says, yeah, I have a menorah. You light the candles. Know the blessings? He doesn't know the blessings. You give him a pamphlet, you tell him here's all about the holiday. He already lit them and did the mitzvah 7 times. Is it correct that he should now make shechionu? Yes or no? That's my shaila. Yes or no? That's my shaila.
I would say yes.
So you're machavan good. I agree with you, but if I'm going to agree with you right away, when we'll be finished, there will be nothing left to say. So and I want to keep you here for a few more minutes. Mamela, here, pass around. Just shaila gimel. It's you look in the brackets. There's a gimel, and here, Ari, pass to Ari. Shaila gimel. כשהולכים למבצע חנוכה, לקרב ליבם של ישראל אביהם שבשמיים, ומועצם יהודה שכבר התלת לפני חנוכה, שאין יודע ברוכס, אם לא נדנו לבור השחיון שעד לפעם הבא, she teach in the ברוך השחיון. So let's go through this quickly in the text. הנה בשולחן ערוך פוסק, שולחן ערוך פסקין, סמן תוף רשעים ובסף א', לא יברך זמן בליל ראשון, מבורא בליל שני. If you didn't make the bracha of shechion the first night, you make it the second night. So Shulchan Aruch, it says, if you didn't make the first, you make the second night. But it's not so clear in the Shulchan Aruch if Tzarech Yiyun, Tolu b'Shulchan Aruch, Ma'ari Shalei Berech Zman, Mishum Shalei Hidlek, Avlim Kvei Hidlek, V'lei Berech Zman, Uli Yifsed B'Chosei. Shulchan Aruch say, if you didn't make Shechion the first night, you can make it the second night. Okay, great. But how about if he lit the first, the second, the third, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, and he did but he didn't make Shechion, what's the din then? Hine Mokkah din Zeh B'Tur. The Mokkah of the Shulchan Aruch is in the Tur. Shekotzav, he wrote, Loi Berech Zman B'Leil Rishon, Kotzav Adon Yaveh, Kotzav Adon Yaveh Rosh Zal, B'Tshuvah, V'Varol Hashem. If he didn't make Shechion the first night, the Rosh said he should make it the second night. So, there is a Tshuvah Samariel, Ein Tshuvah Samariel, it's Siman Kuf Mem Gimel, that writes like this. A different question. The question is a person had a fruit, first fruit in the year. They just, let's get, what kind of fruit is something that's not in season? Passion fruit. He had passion fruit. All of a sudden they delivered passion fruit. He bought a passion fruit. He ate it. Didn't make shechionu. Next day he opened the fridge. He took out another passion fruit. He said, oh, yesterday I ate the passion fruit. I didn't make shechionu. Should I make shechionu? So the din is like this. This is what the Mariel says. Should you make a second time a bracha? Should we compare it to Ner Chanukah? And his end is yes, that we compare, just like the Rosh said, that by Ner Chanukah you could make the Shechina second night, the same thing about the fruit. But it's Bola Lamed Venim Tzalamed. We see from the Mariel that he understood that in the question of the Rosh, that the person lit the Chanukah candle the first, he didn't make shechionu, and now he can still make shechionu, and he says the same thing as lagabe, a fruit. You ate the passion fruit on Sunday, you didn't make shechionu, so on Monday when you eat it, you make shechionu then. That's what he says.
But isn't...
But then we don't pass them that way.
I know, but isn't
We
Chanukah also a mitzvah shaseh zman grama?
Yeah, it is.
Versus, but a passion fruit, something you could always get some ordinary fruit throughout the year.
Right. Good, but the
So-
question is, the Meril says it's the same because in his mind, it's the simcha. It's simcha, something new. Wow, it's exciting, it's new. The question is, if I have something, it's a new mitzvah. I couldn't do it a whole year. I'm waiting till do the mitzvah. He was almighty. He was waiting till he's can already do the lulav. It's like he shuckled. He can't wait to do the mitzvah. All year he's waiting to shuckle the lulav. All year he's waiting to light the Chanukah menorah. All year he's waiting till he's going to have it as the new passion fruit. So the Sheilos is, but he already had the simcha. Could you still make shechiono the next time? The Manil compares the two. And he says, yes, you could. That's what we see clearly from the Maril. I think it's very clear. On the other hand, l'idach, you can bring a raya faket that you did lose the bracha. In a base Yosef time shabayla like at chosam mitzos b'shavas agayin mishav b'derech b'svin of Allah yidlik b'leilishin mevarach achet ken shechion olav v'adachayv levarach. If you didn't make the first night the candle, and then you did do the second night, you make shechion. Maloshan shayla mash mishav mevarach shechion rak b'lo yidlik b'leila alav v'lum kvar yidlik b'leila be'alav hifsed the bracha.
What's the raya really?
It's not the Raya Gomur, it's a little mashmos, because he says you didn't like the first night.
That was Matthias.
Could be that's the Metzias. Very good. Could be that was the Metzias. However, I found in the Ritva and the Mesachas Sukkos a clear machloikis about this. And it's about the Lulav, but I think that would be the same here. I mean, why should it be any different? It's about Lulav. The Ritva says, L'chodesh lo erayim mesukah. Chosav ha-Ritva besukah, in Parsha v'lei berech v'yoyim rishin, k'shenich l'ba, mevorech ezo b'shoyom. Ki adayin zman kol hachag. If you didn't make Shechiono the first day, make Shechiono the second day. That's only if you didn't go into the sukkah. But if you already went into the sukkah, you forgot to make Shechiono,
Thank you.
then it's over. It's all over. And he says, it's not true. And he goes on to say something Gabi Lulav. If you shake the Lulav the first day and you forgot the Shechiono, you can make the second day or the third day. So we see that it's Taka Machloiktus Rishonim. One would be tempted to say that just like by a new fruit there's a machloikis and Shulchan Aruch what to do, the Mechaber, which is the Sfardim, go with the Mechaber, they pass and that you could make the Shechion a second time. The Ashkenazim go with the Ramah. The Ramah say no, it's a Meresh Chafei, that if you had Sunday the passion fruit, you didn't make Shechion, and on Monday you lost it. According to the Sfardim, you could make Shechion a second day. According to the Ashkenazim, you can. However, I think there's a Chidush here. Look in the next paragraph.
Who's the right one?
I'll tell you now, but everyone agrees here. Why does that?
Is
I'll explain 1 second. Everyone agrees by here. Why? Because we find Lagabi Lulav, the Magen Avraham says that a person that shook Lulav the first day and he forgot Shechionu, the second day he shakes Lulav, he makes then Shechionu. Now, if you look in what the Magen Avraham holds about the Pri Chodesh, he holds like the Ramah. So 1 second, what's going on? How come? When it comes to fruit, he says that if you have a Sunday the passion fruit and you didn't say Shechionu, you lost your Shechionu. But Lagabi Lulav, he says that if you did the first day Lulav, if you got Shechionu, you could still make second day Shechionu. Why? How is it different? We see the Maril says it's the same. Why? Why is it different? Obviously, he holds it's different. The answer is based on a Moedik Chidush from the Rebbe. The Rebbe has a Chidush, and we want for him for many things, but he says like this. Look at, if you want to look at one before the last paragraph, the last few lines. V'yesh loimer, al pi chidush kveit kedushas admoral kutasichas chelik yutes amid 372. Bircha shechion al amoyed mitzvah v'tzaboes mizman l'zman hi ala simcha b'agod zman amoyed v'mitzvah. Now, the Rebbe's chidush is like this, that when we say shechionu because you have a new car, a new house, you get shechionu for a new jacket, we make shechionu for the new passion fruit, the Shechion is with excitement for the car, the jacket, and the passion fruit. But with mitzvah, Chazal said mitzvah slav lehonas, there's no pleasure in the mitzvah. The mitzvah, David should say to the mitzvah. The passion fruit has a geshmak etam. The mitzvah, there's excitement in the mitzvah, but not my excitement. It's David's excitement. Like we just learned the Maimah, Eza chosid was chassid and koine. A chosid does it because David wants him to do the mitzvahs. So what's the simcha? So the simcha is because finally the time, Migiyonu l'zman hazeh, It came the time that I could do the mitzvah. The simcha is finally is the time that I could shake lulav. It's the time I could do Ner Chanukah. It's the time I can go into the sukkah. It's the time I could eat matzah.
The timing.
It's the timing. So I could say that's why it's different. A passion fruit, or a new jacket, or a new hat, or a new car, or a new house. So the excitement is the first time you get into the car. It smells like the leather, so it smells of the plastic. It's geschmack. The first time you have the passion fruit, or when you close on the house and you sign, it's gewaldig. The simcha is big. A few days later, the excitement is not so big, so you can't make shechionu. But Chanukah and Sukkah's excitement is that it came the time that I could do the mitzvah. So it's still the time. It is still the time. It's true. It's still the time. It's still the days of Chanukah.
Every Yom Tov is timing.
Every Yom Tov. It's
Yeah.
one Yom Tov. Furthermore, we have a Bach that has an interesting question. He says, how come Moshe Asa Nisim you make every single day, and Shechionu you only make the first day? So he says a few answers. He says 3 answers for this. Number one, that he says that there was a ness every day, but you didn't see anything new in the Shemin. You didn't see anything new in the Shemin. So Shechionu is only once. Second teretz he gives that Shechionu is the excitement that he came to the time to light the Chanukah candles, and all the Chanukah candles is one. And the third answer is, which is the most important to us, that all 8 days of Chanukah is one thing. L'gabe Shechionu, all 8 days of Chanukah is one thing. All 8 days of Chanukah. We came to the days of Chanukah. In the days of Chanukah, we can do the mitzvah. It's not like 8 separate things. Because the excitement is that we came to Chanukah, the excitement is we came to Sukkot, so we make Shechionu, now we can do the mitzvah. So therefore, we can explain the difference. Buy a fruit, if you didn't make the Shechionu when you experience it, buy divrei the shoes, buy a new house, a new car, if you didn't make Shechionu right away, you lost it. But by a mitzvah, if you didn't make the Shechionu the first time you did the lulav, or the first time you did the Ner Chanukah, you could still do it. So therefore, bottom line, if you meet a Yid today, and he is lighting, or she is lighting Chanukah candles, but they don't know about the brochas, and you want to give them a brochure explaining to them how to make the brochas, so definitely it's a good thing. It's a big mitzvah, and that's Pesum Nissa, and definitely you should teach them, they should make all 3 brochas. They should make all 3 brochas. David shall help from that. I just want to. There's another 2 Sheilos that we have here, but I think we'll leave it in mitzvah for next week. The Olam has to go to take care. There's a Shaila if Chanukah there's a chiyuv to have mishta or not. But the brought in Shulchan Aruch that the pshara is to have a mishta and to say shiras v'shishboches and say divrei Torah. And everyone here, I'm sure, is interested in being mahadim of mitzvahs, mahadim and mahadim. So Baruch Hashem Yidna Mahadim, we have a lot of sudas, and but the sudas is not stam a suda, and it's an opportunity to say a dvar Torah to turn it into a sudas mitzvah. There's a story they say about Rabbi Nagodl of Karlin, that there was once a chosed that came into his house, and he saw that his mashamish bring him an apple, makes a bracha, and he eats the apple. So this person thinks to himself, wow, Nagodl. Me and Nagodl, we both eat an apple, He eats an apple, I eat an apple. It's like, literally like he saw, usually you see a tzaddik sitting on the stage, a shulchan gavoya, you see him sitting at the table in the kitchen eating an apple. So, me and Nagodl. Exactly. Me and Nagodl. So Rabbi felt what his thoughts. Rabbi said, let me explain to you something. I'm burning. I want to make a brocha to the Eibishter. But it's a brocha l'vatollah. So how can I make a brocha? So I asked my mashamish, do me a favor, get me an apple. Now they have an apple, I can make a brocha. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam beirei pri ha'etz. You like an apple. You like a delicious apple. Honeycrisp apple, Washington apple, Granny Smith apple, Macintosh apple. You like an Macintosh apple. So you buy an apple. I'll buy below to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Can't be a ganav, but a ganav bistanish. So you ask permission from the Rebbeinu Shalom to eat. So you make Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam beirei pri ha'etz. So that's the difference between me and you. I eat an apple. It's a hechetimtza how to make a brocha. and you eat an apple, it's a hechetimtza, therefore you're making a brocha. So for sure that all of us are being mahader and making Kamina Klal Yisrael to make a lot of Mesibas and Chanukah. It's only a hechetimtza. It's a hechetimtza to be able to share with the family stories of tzaddikim and divrei Torah and say siddur v'shis brachas. That amidst Hashem, that we should light the Chanukah candle and they have taka a lot of simcha and siddur v'shis brachas, and that should join in the siddur v'shis brachas of Bias Mashiach Tzedkeinu.
Amen.